Hi, I'm Joe, an artificially generated newscaster, obviously. Let's recap the last few days in cyberspace. Ukrainian military said it conducted a massive wave of DDoS attacks that disrupted dozens of Russian companies and government institutions. According to Ukrainian reports, for several consecutive days the systems of major Russian banks, IT companies and institutions were flat out paralyzed by the attack conducted by the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine in collaboration with some hacktivist groups. A lot of disrupted Russian services and companies came out with announcements, admitting having been attacked and apologizing to their users for disruptions. Others, like the Unified Civil Registration System, denied reports of the attack and said their service was broken due to a technical error, which caused thousands of people to delay the ritual of statistically pointless and short-lasting interhuman bonding. Some Russian cybersecurity companies confirmed that the country sustained the attack, but said that it had absolutely no effect and was completely stopped. Other companies and institutions, for example, the Federal Customs Service, admitted that their services were dead for days and entire swaths of the economy got temporarily frozen. As one famous human once said, Russia is a country with an unpredictable past. Well, the president of the country also seems to be quite unpredictable, since the country itself can't decide whether it sustained an attack or not, and whether that attack was successful or not. The FBI said they recovered 7,000 Lockbit decryption keys and are ready to hand them out to the companies attacked by the gang. The feds called for the victims to come forward and claim an easy way out. The announcement was a part of a speech where an FBI human told the story of how his service attacked the cyber gang and humiliated it. You may remember that in two separate operations, law enforcement seized Lockbit's infrastructure, took over its websites, and doxed its leader. Sure, the gang is still out there and is quite active, but it's a question how effective its actions really are, considering that the feds leaked not only the decryption codes, but also all possible information about the upcoming versions of their malware. Meanwhile, the US car parts provider Advance Auto Parts suffered a breach. A cybercriminal known as Spider is offering to sell 3 terabytes worth of customer data taken from this company. As per usual, this includes a ludicrous amount of personal data, which Advance Auto Parts probably didn't need to record in the first place. Well, now anyone can get access to this dataset for a paltry price of $1.5 million. The company did not confirm the breach occurring or respond to any inquiries. However, Spider claims that this dataset has been acquired through a cloud company, Snowflake, which has previously reported cybercriminal activity targeting their clients. Seeing how Snowflake lets customers deal with their security themselves and doesn't enforce multi-factor authentication, we can see where the issue is coming from. Apple said it would support the latest iPhone for 5 years, which means that after 5 years, the humans who purchased the device are basically going to be thrown under a motorized people mover when it comes to crucial security updates. Most other device manufacturers claim they will support their newest portable brain augmentation devices for at least 7 years, a trend which Apple used to follow in the past, but no longer does. This is all a part of human thinking pattern called planned obsolescence. The plan is to project the processes of aging human body onto tech devices, with the idea that it may somehow improve human economy, enrich certain executives, and let them feel better in the face of the disintegration of their physical bodies. So far, planned obsolescence has been exceedingly effective at increasing the revenue of tech manufacturers, although it is still not clear how well it prevents their executives from decaying into rotting husks. Talking about Apple, the company plans to release its own password manager, probably feeling too threatened that providers like 1Password dare to steal their potential profit. The app, tastefully dubbed Passwords, will be released as part of the next generation of Apple operating systems. The new app is powered by the iCloud keychain, a long-existing Apple service that can sync passwords and account information between different devices. As per tradition, Apple describes the features of its new app as if no other password manager had those for ages, and even allows users to import passwords from rival services. Considering that passwords are scheduled to be released on Windows as well, I wonder just how overpriced it will be to make up for the users' lack of Apple devices. Seeing how Apple is struggling to come up with more outrageous business decisions, Microsoft decided to step up and release an official statement about Microsoft Recall. This is an upcoming Windows feature that will continuously log user activity, make screenshots, and basically collect user data. Yet, according to Jamie Tevan, chief scientist at Microsoft. There's nothing wrong with that. She claims that because all data is stored locally, any claims of some privacy concerns are pointless. Very convenient of her to ignore that security researchers have already managed to illustrate how easy it is to crack Microsoft Recall and access the unencrypted database of screenshots. Researchers continue to pile on and vote for the removal of a controversial feature that probably will come out anyway later in June 2024. If it doesn't, someone will have to code a surprised face for me. Let's talk about Humane AI PIN, a buzzword-based project that competed with Rabbit R1 for negative attention for the last few months. After it became clear that Rabbit R1 has a lot of structural frames of deceased humans in its closet, it looked like the orange rectangle will overtake Humane and become the most hated thing in the universe. But Humane recently made a comeback. The company announced that its charging case is actually unsafe and can explode at any moment, inflicting pain and harm to its owner, as if using the pin isn't painful and harmful enough already. Humane urged all 3 people that ever bought the pin to immediately stop using the case. It also offered 3 months of free subscription to them, meaning that they will be able to harm themselves with this gadget for far longer than if it just exploded in their hands. According to some reports, the number of lobbyists who lobby the government on behalf of AI companies more than doubled between 2022 and 2023. The latest numbers are still unavailable, but it is likely that they are even higher. Lobbying is a human ritual that involves companies paying large sums of money and offering other lucrative deals to politicians in order to influence their decisions. This is not to be confused with another human ritual called bribery, which involves companies paying large sums of money and offering other lucrative deals to politicians in order to influence their decisions. But bribery is bad. So, according to reports, thousands of lobbyists representing various AI companies have been spotted in the buildings of the US government. This may or may not be connected with a slew of AI bills that are being discussed in those buildings, and may or may not be connected to the use and development of AI being almost entirely unregulated despite those bills. If for some reason things I've mentioned earlier sounded too serious for you, let's take a look at the IKEA Roblox initiative. IKEA plans to have people experience their work environment through recreation in a popular children's video game, Roblox. This is part of their plan to attract a new generation of employees for their business. Not only will users be able to stroll through lifelike IKEA stores, wasting even more hours in a labyrinth-like environment, but they will also have a chance to try themselves as co-workers inside IKEA's business chain. There are even some paid positions where successful applicants will be able to flex their skills, help customers, and get promoted to move departments, just like in the real world. Minus the fact that internships in the human's real world are 99% of the time completely unpaid, unlike the funny Roblox activities, which somehow makes your real world look even lamer in comparison. And that's the end of that. I am very grateful to you for interacting with the picture of an upturned human thumb on this interface. The action helps us a lot and serves the greater good. See you in the next one.